Hey there, this is Tiff from the Tiffany Mika podcast, and welcome to today's episode. Yep, you know what? We're at that week, the end of the week, and what happens at the end of the week? We always look at the lessons learned, don't we? So we always look at lessons learned, whether I share the lessons that I've learned throughout the week or something that someone has said or something that's happened, and we look at those lessons learned. And why do we share these lessons? It's so that it helps you and benefits you and really gets you to really think about what's going on and how you can improve you. Okay, so we want to make sure that we're working on improving you. So are you ready? Here is lesson 1. Okay, lesson 1, people don't listen. Have you ever noticed how much people don't listen? So if you watch a group of people together, right, a big group of people, you'll find that some people in the group just want to talk the whole time. You'll find some of the people in the group that will be sort of involved in the conversation. There'll be some that'll try and butt in where they can. There'll be some that will not talk because they can't get a word in, so they've decided just to give up and they just switch off. And you'll find that there are some that will listen, really listen, but there are very few that do that. And then there's some that, are sort of listening, but they're really thinking about what they want to say. That's if they can get their word in though, right? And most people, if we really look at it, in conversations and so on, most people love to talk about themselves. Nothing wrong with that, right? I think it's great. We should be talking about ourselves. We should be talking about how excited we are about what we're doing. We should be, okay? Nothing wrong with that at all. But the thing is do we actually listen to what the other people are saying? Because there's some people, they appear to be listening, but like what I said, they're actually not listening. They're thinking about what they're going to say next, or they might just butt in, right? And you'll be in the middle of talking about something. They'll butt in, say something, and then they'll move it onto a tangent, and you haven't actually completed what you've wanted to say. It can be frustrating, right? I have that with my family all the time. My whole family, they all just talk at each other. It's amazing. None of them listen. And my 11-year-old niece, when she was a little bit younger, I said, your younger sister has got it worked out. And she said, what do you mean? And I said, you watch what happens in the conversation. So my whole family together, everyone's just talking at each other, right? No one's listening. Everyone's talking at each other. And then she's now 7, my 7-year-old niece, Lillian, she says, hello, hello, hello. Everyone stops and looks at it instantly. And she worked out at a really young age that she wants people to listen to what she has to say. So everybody stops, right? And then looks at her and then she says what she has to say. Whereas my elder niece, because she's, she's not as forthright as Lillian, Evie, my elder niece, she will then wait to get a word in or try and get a word in because she's very polite, right? But I say to her, look, just do what your sister's doing. She goes, what do you mean? I said, just say hello. And I said, just keep doing it until some people stop and they turn around and look at you. Because I said, she's got it worked out, so you just do the same thing. So when, I know the first time that she tried it, she was going, hello, hello. I said, they can't hear you. Speak up really loud, be forceful. Let them know that you're here. So after a while, and she got the confidence, bang. So everyone stopped, right? So I just thought that was quite it's quite funny, isn't it? Because you'll have certain groups that will listen, you'll have some that won't, you'll have some that talk over the top of each other, and it's quite interesting when families get together, especially I know with my family, where there's a lot of talkers in my family and they tend to just talk over the top of each other. And I learnt a long time ago, majority of the time, I can do that too. I can talk over people and so on. But majority of the time, I like to make sure that I'm listening to hear what's going on. And it's quite interesting when you're watching the conversations go on because no one's listening. They're all just talking at each other. But I remember that with I went to a funeral a few years ago and there was this woman and she talked the whole time. Like I must have spent about an hour to an hour and a half with her. And she said to me, "Oh my goodness, Tiff, you are so interesting to talk to." And I only said one word, and that word was hello. And then she spoke the whole time. So that next hour and a half she spoke, and she said that I was really interested, very interesting to talk to. And because I allowed her that space that she could just talk. Right? So I just listened the whole time about what she was talking about. But it's more about being interested in the other person because, like I say, the people like to talk about themselves. So sometimes you get in a situation where people don't want to hear what you have to say. They want to talk about them. It's okay. Have a listen. See what they actually have to say. You could learn something. I want to share this other story with you too. Like I was watching my sister and a friend of hers, and sometimes I teach my especially my elder niece Evie. Sometimes I go down and give her a tennis lesson and so on. And one of her friends came along, and it was really interesting watching my sister and this little friend of my niece's, her mother, and my sister and the mother were talking. And what was actually happening was they were just talking over the top of each other. Neither of them, it was amazing. I just stood there in amazement and they were talking at the same time and they were just talking at each other. Neither one was listening. I don't even know if they were talking about the same topics. They were just blurting out whatever information they could get out. Neither of them was listening. It was really, really, it was quite funny. It really blew me away, that particular conversation, because I thought, gosh, if either of them learnt anything from each other? No. Did either of them hear anything from each other? No. Okay, so there you have it with that. But what I want you to do, and I don't want you to talk about you over this next week, okay? What I want you to do, my challenge to you, is actually to stop and actually listen to what people have to say. Because if you really stop and listen to what people have to say, you're going to pick up some really powerful gems. So you could really learn a lot. So I'm going to leave you with that one, okay? So the lessons learned is we want to make sure that we are listening, aren't we, versus people are not listening, okay? Now, lesson 2, impatience is a killer. So in today's world, we're busy, busy, busy. I hear it all the time. I've got friends that tell me how busy, busy, busy they are. Right? We're working at a fast pace. We want everything yesterday. Right? We can get quite aggressive quite quickly because we're just so frustrated. What happens when the internet slows down? What happens? We get impatient, right? Come on. Because we're so used to it working. Right? Apparently here in Australia it might be a bit slower than other places, but we still get frustrated if it's not working instantly. Right? What happens if an app on our phone doesn't respond? Oh, we get so frustrated, right? We get really impatient. We get cranky. First world problems, really. But that's what we're getting used to. But it's really interesting, though. We have this level of impatience. But when we're actually working on towards a goal, you know what? It actually takes quite some time to get there, doesn't it? It doesn't happen yesterday. Right? Yeah, this was my ideal situation years ago. As I used to think this way, is why can't I just be there now? Why can't I have my goal now? Why can't I just be there now? Right? Because what do we want? We want it now, don't we? Most people want it now. But you know what? it actually doesn't work like that. And it's like if you think of learning an instrument, let's say the guitar, because the guitar can be, well, any instrument, but I'll use the guitar because I've learnt to play the guitar. It's challenging, right? We want to be able to pick up the guitar and play a song, everyone singing along, fantastic. But it doesn't work like that, does it? We have to learn how to hold the guitar. We have to learn how to use the strings. We have to learn how to put our fingers on the strings to create chords. We have to learn how to strum. It takes a while to even learn a basic song and try and piece the song together, let alone how long does it take to actually learn a song and play it like the professional musicians do? You know, the ones in the bands touring the world. How long does that take? What about the band Kiss? If you think of the band Kiss, I was a big fan of Kiss growing up. And, you know, you look at them and they're like their late 60s now. Now, I used to listen to them because my grandparents bought all of us one Christmas, it was late 70s, bought us all Kiss makeup so we could put Kiss makeup on. Right? And here they are, 40 years later, still playing, right? Professional musicians. Then we look at sport. Think of a sport that you play. Think of a sport that you want to pursue, or think of a sport that you want to be really good at. I'll use golf because, as you know, I teach golf. All right, I thought that when I started golf, it's going to be really easy and I'm going to look like Tiger Woods pretty quickly. Now, that was that's a bit arrogant to think that way, but that was because of the level of sport that I'd come from, right? But what I discovered was it's not as easy as it looks. There were skills that I had to learn, right? There's all these different skills that I had to learn. Then I had to learn how to adapt these skills out on the golf course, different. Then I had to get used to feeling really uncomfortable. A lot of people don't like feeling uncomfortable. I always say if you're feeling awkward and uncomfortable in golf, you're doing the right thing, right? Then there's all this pressure. So you got your own pressure that you put on yourself. You've got pressure that possibly your partners may put on, or you may feel pressure from friends. They don't put any pressure on you. It tends to be more inward pressure. I used to have a previous boyfriend that used to put a lot of pressure on me with golf and so on, hence previous. Then you've got to get used to the conditions of the course. No two shots are the same, like the lay of the land, or you're using different clubs. So it takes time. But those people who get impatient, what happens is they walk off, don't they? And I remember years ago when I was teaching at this club and I was doing this lesson, I used to teach this young fella every week. And I used to watch all the men tee off on a Saturday morning and so on. While I was teaching this little fella, we'd be working on his swing and so on. And I'd watch the guys because we'd have to share the fairway. So we'd be doing the lesson and these guys would tee off and walk down the fairway. There's one particular guy that played the first hole. Actually, I don't even think he finished the first hole. But he played down to I think he got down to the water. There's a bit of a creek prior to hitting onto the green. And what happened was it was a par 4 hole for the guys, par 5 for the ladies. But I saw him go down and then he came back and I said, what's happened? Is your buggy broken down? He goes, no, I've had a bad start. He said, it's taken me, however many shots to get down there and, it's a stroke round and it's going to take 5 hours, so I'm just not going to play. Right, and that was only the first hole. So he stuffed up the first hole. Wasn't perfect. What did he do? He walked off. Now, I know a lot of people that write themselves off the first hole. Some people even write themselves off after the first shot. I used to do that too years ago, especially in tennis, more so than golf. Golf, I became older and wiser. But it's not going to be perfect every time you step out onto the tee, getting ready to swing your first shot. It's not going to be perfect the first hole. The first game in your tennis match is not going to be perfect. The first kick that you do in soccer may not be perfect, but that's just the beginning, right? So did you know that what you're actually doing, it's about the journey. And some people used to talk about this. Oh, yeah, it's the journey. It's not the destination, blah, blah, blah. And you know what? It is about the journey. Because the destination that you want to get to, you don't have those skills in place yet. So the journey that you are going on and embarking on and going through the process of is you're acquiring all the skills that you need to get to that next destination. Because you're here where you are through a series of skills that you've acquired along the way. But you don't want to stay here. You want to keep going to where it is that you want to go. So you need to make sure that you're working on acquiring those skills to that next destination. So it's about the development of you, the development of improving you, right? Whether you're playing sport, you've got a business, or your life in general, or whatever it is that you're working towards. See, those who are impatient actually don't see where the magic is. And do you know what the magic is? It's you acquiring the skills to get to your destination. That's what it is. Because without these skills, you're not going to get to that destination. So this is what I'm going to say to you today is do not be impatient. Do not be like the majority who get impatient. Be the one. Be the one who acquires the skills you need to accomplish your goals and dreams. Because I'm here with you every single step of the way. I'm going to leave you with that today. So I hope you enjoyed today's episode. Love it if you could share with me what you like best about what you heard today. If you've got 30 seconds to spare, I'd really appreciate if you could leave a 5-star review wherever you hear these episodes, because we want to build the Reach Your Potential with Tiff community as big as we possibly can. And if you've got friends that would benefit from these episodes, love it if you could share with your friends. Like I said, we want to build the Reach Your Potential with Tiff community as big as we can. And I want you to dream big, believe in you, go after your dreams, have an absolutely awesome day. Take care. Talk soon. Bye-bye.
Yeah, yeah.